Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, I can't get a word in myself sometimes, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can make your comments or questions known during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe and share the videos. By the way, when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when we come on live, either myself or Sparky. And please consider also joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member myself. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't either. Plus, you'll be supporting your hobby. Hopefully, it's a passion and something you really enjoy. Now, you also can show your support and love by using the super chat, which is located below the chat box over here, and you can donate any amount that you like. Now, your support helps offset some of the many expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you'll get unlimited access to member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a Q&A for just members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel, not mine. So if you want to get in touch with me, the best way to reach me is to go to my YouTube channel, which is Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. And if you locate the video 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot of me with his video camera of me flying his Junar XL, and I will receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link now at Stunthangar Forum. Let me go there. Okay, the link is posted. That's how you get into this Zoom meeting, is through that medium of the Stunthangar Forum. I post a link at a place called At the Bench. and that's how you get in. And let me see what's going on here. So it looks like we have some people in the chat already. I'm going to go to the what I call the control panel. Let me see here. Just give me a second here. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Today's Monday the 19th of September. And let's see here. I went out flying today, had a good day, put up about 5 flights. I went through my 5 charged batteries. I had to get back home to help my wife or something. And went to a different location. It's something I'm going to start using every Monday because I can just pull up and park and then set up about 15 feet away. And that's much closer than where I normally fly on Fridays. I have to haul all my stuff quite a distance. And lately I've been dealing with a pulled muscle, I suspect. And it's just kind of hampering me walking around. So it looks like we have 13 concurrent viewers. We have 9 likes. Thank you very much. Great start. So the 4 of you who have not smashed the like button, please do that. That helps the analytics of the show. And Jeff Riley is the first one in the chat. He says, like sent. Thank you very much, Jeff. And Jack Snavely says, hello, Charles, and all else. And he has these airplane stickers. Thank you very much, Jack. Appreciate that. And then Tom Rammel says, like provided. And then Tom Rammel says, watching Vikings football Monday night. See you Friday. All right. I can't outrank the Vikings, I guess. But anyways, Jeff Riley says, enjoy the game, Tom. And then Dennis Adamson says, hello, everyone. Like delivered. Thank you very much, Dennis. So let's see what's happening here. Hopefully someone joins me quickly or shortly. And that way I have some company in here. Let me see, that did not work. I was trying to send something, didn't work. Too bad. Let's see here. Don't know what went wrong with that. But anyways, did not work. Okay, well, I'll work on that later. Anyways, I'm actually beginning to add some trim to my SV11. I'm actually, when I first started flying my plane, it's an ARF, and I didn't really do hardly anything with it. At first, that plane was not flying very good. It didn't really, I didn't even care about how it looked. It was flying terrible. But now that it's flying pretty good, I'm actually beginning to, spruce it up a little bit. I don't get any appearance points, but I still, hey, Gary, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
You're the first one. So thank you. So what you been up to?
Not much. We had a fly-in last weekend, and we got ours this weekend coming. So.
Oh, very cool. You going to go to it?
Oh yeah.
Very, very good. Now is that strictly control line, or is it everything, RC and control line?
Well, it could be everything, but it's mostly probably RC.
All right, very good.
But I did see a guy last Saturday that come on the chat and was talking about control line, and he had a couple of control line planes there. And
who was that? Do you remember his name?
No, I don't remember his name.
Huh.
But anyway, he talks to, where is it, the new guy that's for Pampa? He was talking to him.
Oh, on the last show. So the guy with Pampa, that's Mark Wise.
Mark Wise, yeah, he's talking to him.
He's the president of Pampa.
Yeah. So that was interesting. He was there and he passed out some Brodax stuff, little pads that he got about Brodax.
Oh, yeah. I think was it something like this here? I mean, mine's the 20th.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Mine's
yeah, I picked this up at Brodax when I was there. I went to the 20th. So it's just like a notepad.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Keith. How you doing?
Okay.
I'll go get mine.
All right, cool. Have you been fortunate enough to do some flying, Keith?
No, we had to do some traveling this weekend. So we were out of the state.
Well, I'm glad you made it back safely. You
Yeah.
and Barbara. That's great.
Things are good.
That's good. That's good.
What happened last Friday? I wasn't here.
Oh, let me see here. Hang on. That looks very similar to what I have. Yeah. Oh, okay. That commemorates the museum.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. I think that's basically what I have, but mine's dated. Mine was talking about the 20th. So I went to the Brodax in 2016,
Mhm.
which was their 20th anniversary. So very cool. You have something handy to write on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep notes if any questions. But
Yeah.
trying to remember what happened Friday, Keith. I know we had a good show.
We had a good show. Yeah.
I think we talked a little bit more. Hey, Stuart, thanks for coming in. And Tryon, thank you for coming in. I know that you can't stay up very late, Tryon, but I really appreciate you doing that. That's awesome. So last Friday, we talked a little bit more about the spectral lines because
Spectral lines.
some people have experienced some breaking, and so we talked about that, Keith. I know we talked about other things, but it just seems like an eternity since last time I was here, and I don't remember what we talked about entirely. But I remember a good deal of the programming was about the spectral lines. Mike Lonke had some updated information. I think that's when he talked about the labels. There's a little bit of variance in labels, and he was suspecting that the original label was the stuff that wouldn't break, and the new label, which was different color, different hue, might be subject to breaking, but that ended up being a non-issue. But we went on and we had a good show. I really can't remember what it was about.
It's good
But you can
stuff,
watch,
though.
the replays are on the YouTube channel. If you sometimes I'm in my shop. I mean, right now my computer in my shop is not working, unfortunately, but I would sometimes play a previous show while I'm working my shop. And so it's up there on YouTube. Just go to the Stunthangar YouTube channel and then just go to the previous date, and you can watch it and you can enjoy it, hopefully.
We had a contest here in Georgia. The weather was just beautiful.
Oh, great.
All around, gorgeous weather. Nice turnout. Experts, we had 8 people. On advanced, we had like another 9 or 10, I think. Beginners, I think it was just 1 or 2. This was on Pampa Day on Sunday. On Saturday, we had a bunch of other events like the profile and classic and some other stuff in there. Class, I think it was also old time. I did judge on what was that? I think I judged profile
Very
on
good.
intermediate and advanced circle. My God, that's tough to do.
It is, isn't it? I've
Right.
done some judging.
It's
is
so
tough.
much easier to judge experts. I mean, just a whole lot easier. I mean, you look at the maneuvers like, oh, good God, what is this? Is this an 18 or a 15 or a 20? I mean, you go over there, something like that, yeah. And
Right.
Sunday, obviously I flew Sunday, and I flew expert on Sunday. Derek won it, put some 600 plus points on the board or something like that. I was like,
Wow.
holy smokes.
Wow.
Couldn't beat him.
Wow.
I tried.
Well, yeah, that's all we can do is try, put up our best effort. If I get my best effort up in Las Vegas, I'll be happy, and I'll just deal with the results, But if I don't do what I believe I'm capable of doing, then I'm just really mad at myself,
Yeah, but I beat Tom Dixon. I got it.
Really? Hey, that's saying something. That's great.
Yeah, I finally got it, but I put a 593 on a board.
Hey, very good. Hey, very
That's
good.
put a monster score over there.
Wow, that's very good. Very
And
congratulations.
the plane
That's-
was just, yeah, the plane was just dynamite. I mean, just finally I got, what I got married to it. Just like it just we made the team complete, right? So at the point,
yeah.
like I feel it's just bam, exactly what I want, how I want it, and stuff like that. Just it fits me perfectly right now.
Yeah, when you get a chance, when you can start painting in the sky or drawing in the sky, that's where we want to be. We want to be at the point where we can just draw in the sky, and it's just
Yeah.
exactly what you want to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Uh-huh.
Let me welcome.
Yeah, when we had a couple of people.
Let me welcome everybody. Mark Wise, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. And John Miller, I know it took you a while to connect for some reason, but thank you for your persistence and coming in. And carry on, Tryon. Go ahead.
And and we had a couple of guys that actually flew my plane after the contest, and they just to just watch them with a smile on their faces. They're flying the plane, and it's kind of funny, just because I definitely enjoy this part of it. And you see them kind of getting slow and take it easy and stuff like that. And they start to push it a little bit, and they start to push it some more, and they keep pushing it. They can't find the edge yet.
Wow. Yeah,
So
I look forward to having a chance to fly it. I hope I can get over the maybe the anxiousness of not wanting to hurt your plane, but I look forward to it.
yeah, it's like I only have good compliments, for everybody that flies it, and obviously, and one of them said I didn't know there is a plane that's so easy to fly.
Yeah, that's what when
Yeah.
a plane is trimmed really well, it's easy to fly. That's why I keep fooling around my plane, because when you make improvements, it's not doesn't just fly better, it really flies easier.
Yeah. And yeah,
Addictive.
and even with that, I know my plane is not at 100% yet.
Right,
I might be at 95, but not at 100.
right. It
Because
takes
I know
time. I mean, it takes time to discover
Mhm.
any deficiency or anything you want like it to be a little bit
Yeah.
easier or better. And just you have so
Mhm.
much going on, it's hard to
Yeah.
detect everything at first.
Yeah, I made a little mistake, in my trimming, is that I started my lead out position at a certain point, right? And I said I went incrementally forward from there, right? Instead of and it got a little bit better, then it got worse. It was kind of super loose, right? I should have started here and move forward, because actually the best setup was over there somewhere. I was well past it in the front side when I started, and I thought so. So actually, I went to the field. I think I was on the field at about 6:30 or so in the morning. It was still nighttime outside, and I took my plane out of the car. I put it on a flying field on a flight line. I put the battery inside. Put my lines out, and as soon as I could see the plane, I started to do like a bunch of like those 2-minute flights. But the problem is that I started in the wrong spot, and then I said, you know what? This doesn't feel right. This is not the plane I know, right? And I said, I remember something. I think my CG, my leaders were a little past, a little bit behind from what I'm used. So I just went from there like an inch and a half back or something like that. Just a huge change. And all of a sudden I was like, this is more of like the plane was, it was what I call flyable, right? I mean, it was very flyable, It was a little bit softer on the two corners on the hourglass. Other than that, it was just no issues anywhere, right? But still, you could still turn it and turn it. I mean, you have a definition on the top of the two turns and stuff like that. Was not anything to write home about it, but think about it not being 100%, and those people saying like, "This is the easiest thing I ever flew. It's perfect. It's great." And I know it's not great. I mean, it's the performance on this thing is just staggering.
And that's nice that you have so much room to expand the performance of the plane. You're not at the end of the envelope yet. That's a great place to be. Let me welcome Dennis Adamison. Dennis, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And looks like Jim Hoffman is making his way in here, and he'll be in here shortly. I see his. Hey, Jim, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Awesome. So I know
already got a full house.
Yeah, just about. We're looking at I guess we have 9 people. Yeah, it's yeah, sometimes I think I want more and more and more people, but I know we've had as many as 20 in here, and I don't know how much I can handle, but I gotta be careful what I wish for, right?
That's about it.
If I had 30 people, boy, I think that would be I don't know what I'd do if I had that many. But hopefully most of them wouldn't talk at the same time.
and I flew Mike's plane too.
Oh, so you saw Mike Lonke this weekend?
Yeah, I did see him.
Oh,
He
good.
was over there practicing. He was. Maybe I should let him talk if he walks in. Probably he was going to talk about it for sure. So I'm not going to steal his.
Yeah. I know Dennis also has to report about the contest he was at. And
yeah, well, we were up in Cleveland, their 2-day meet. Essentially the end of season, for things in the immediate area and stuff like that. So it was pretty well attended. They flew a lot of events. I mean, like Profile, Arc, Classic, NOS 30, and you could enter NOS 30 and Classic at the same time, which a lot of contests don't let you do that. And then on Sunday, we flew Pampa classes. Real pretty flying site. Crew, the club was properly energized there to run a good meet. Judges included Todd Lee and Mike Alamoff, and Bob Hudak was a district representative for a lot of years, Mark, like when I was doing it, and a few others I can't remember, but all in all, I had a real good time. So I had more fun on Saturday than I did on Sunday, but I had a lot of fun over the whole weekend. So Wes and I were out, and it's great. Bill Werwich came out, joined us for a while. He was out there most of Saturday.
Wow,
I have not seen him in a tripe. I don't remember how long, and he had a lot of people holding court with him. He seemed to be doing really, really good. So said he has, he lives him and his wife own a horse farm now. And he actually went and he's put in a control line circle there. Now he just can't, I guess the inactivity is driving him crazy or something like that. No, so he's got a circle out there and whatever. And I guess he's going to try to keep flying as long as he can. So that all sounds good. Yeah.
Well, let me fill in a little bit of a gap here. So Dennis on Saturday got first in Profile and Nostalgia 30, and he got second in Old Time Stunt. Not a bad day.
No, not bad.
Were you judging yourself? Is that the deal?
Well, I don't know about that, but it was that one of those things where you fill out your name on the score sheets, and then I figured while I was at it, I just took the liberty and filled in some of the numbers too. Take the load. The judges were working so hard, I wanted to ease their workload. So
that's congratulations, Dennis.
Congratulations.
Mark, we are our worst judges. We are our worst judges.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I am. I'm very rough on myself.
I'm pretty tough on myself too.
Yeah.
So anybody else do any flying since last time we was together?
Well, I went up to New York for a couple of days I was asked to judge the Joe Daly's contest at the famous Flushing Meadows Circle.
Oh, that sounds great.
Cool.
Which is a half hour from where I grew up. And it was a nice contest, 10 in expert and maybe 6 or 7 in advanced. And beautiful day Saturday up in New York. And a friend of mine picked me up at 3:30 in the morning. So we got there about 6:30 and the contest started at 9. I flew at the original site, oh boy, 50 years ago. And then I watched a couple of videos that Wendy had done of the site. So there I was, and I was sitting where Big Jim would normally hold court. And you get some of these guys out there who are just famous, and it was a good time. It was a good time, good contest. And Bob Hunt flew, and Joe flew, and Joe's son Steven flew, who's getting to be a really good stunt flyer. This kid is, you're going to see a lot of him. He's just fearless. 90-degree corners, 3.5, 4 feet up off the deck. And he looks great. Had a great meal. Then we all went to Joe's house, and in his backyard, his dad was there. And as Joe said, I wanted someone there, Mark, who was your age. I said, oh, that's great. You know, why don't you just bring up some dirt? You know, you can do that too. His dad and I had a Vietnam connection, and he was in a year before me, and really neat guy. So it was, and we spent the night in the hotel. Tommy and I went back the next day. So while I got the floor, if you don't mind, I just wanted to, Charles, I think you'll appreciate this. The mail today was a letter from a guy named Jim Vornholt.
Oh,
And I said, well, this is interesting. Is it a complaint? I mean, what did I do wrong? And he wrote the nicest letter. Apparently he's been watching this on Mondays and Fridays, and has been for a while. And he talked about that he was, I guess, along with Keith and some others at Oshkosh 50 years ago, 49 years ago, and was very nice to me about comments, and he liked the energy that he feels I'm trying to put in, and inside the envelope was a check for $500.
nice.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's the second check I've gotten in about a week. The first check was $500 for the guy who organized the event in West Virginia, where I came out and spent 2 days with the kids, and he gave us a $500 donation to Tampa. So
Wow, that's fantastic.
yeah, it was good timing for me, because there's some things internally going on that I'm not real happy about. So I'm just working those things out, and it was nice to have a couple of people say, "Hey, you're doing a good job." You know, that's always nice to hear.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's good time.
I'm glad to hear. Now, Jim, how do you say his last name?
Vornholt?
Cornhole.
Vernholt. I know
Yeah.
he's made it in here once. He's had difficulty. I mean, he made it here once for a brief moment, and then he went away. So if you're listening, Jim, you know, please try again or reach out to me, and maybe we can do this one-on-one, and we can work out the kinks and help you get in here.
Yeah, we had a board meeting, council meeting Thursday, and we're going to do something special for the 50th at the Nats, and it looks like it might be something like a banquet, and we're going to invite people like Keith, the founders, Win Paul, and some others, and try to help them financially make the trip.
Nice.
And really, 50 years is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I could shut it down in one, but I'll try not to. Out of respect for all these people. And one of the good things that came out of the debacle at the Nats in July, with us being cut short, was I met with the AMA for many hours, Chad Boudreaux and others, and said, we need to get the SIGs more involved. And sure enough, I got an email today that a week from Monday, Tony Stillman, who's been put in charge of competition at the Nats, is holding the first of a series of SIG meetings, special interest groups like ours. So I see some good things happening, and I think I control myself as a gentleman, but sometimes you just have to say to people, I don't think we're getting our fair share. And when they agree, it's a good feeling. So there are good things happening. So I just wanted to, that's on the good news side. So
Very good. That is very, very good news. So Jim, how about you, Jim Hoffman? Did you do any flying?
Not since we spoke last. I'm going to fly tomorrow. I have been in contact with Mark. We're able to get the VSC flyer up on the Pampa website.
yep,
So,
All right.
so that contest is a go.
that's terrific.
No, that was good. We're going to fly tomorrow, though.
Very good. What about in your shop? You done anything lately in your shop?
You know what? I'm doing what my wife says is using these wasted model airplane skills for something useful. And I'm building a jewelry box for one of my granddaughters.
Oh no, that
Oh.
is so cool. That is so cool.
So you're using that 8-pound balsa, huh?
I'm using some plywood I won in a raffle.
Atta
Quarter-inch
boy.
plywood. No.
Oh, very, very nice. That's
Hey, Jim, before I forget, other people who've asked me for favors send me a check for 500. I didn't ask you for anything for the VSC flyer. So just, keep it in mind.
What you gonna power those jewelry boxes with?
Well, I hadn't thought about that, John. I don't know. But Mark, we can repay you. You could come to VSC and you could judge for free.
Cool.
Holy mackerel.
Such a deal.
What a man, oh man, what a great deal.
That is a good deal.
And you get to go to all the banquets too.
I would love to come out to that, Jim, and I've been talking about it, and I got friends who are going out there, and but if I go out there, I think I'd like to fly.
You can do both.
Yeah.
Hell, you can be the CD and fly.
No, I've done enough CD. Thank you. That's awesome.
So
Looks
in,
like
in my
Philip
workshop,
Bailey's
that's
making-
the only thing going on right now. The weather is starting to cool here in Phoenix, so I'm going to get back to painting the I-beamer soon.
Very cool. Yeah, if you ever have a chance, show us what you've been doing in the shop. Maybe bring it out and show it to us. I love show and tells. Or if you've, or even if you're just proud of something you just did, you can share with us what you've been doing.
All right, I could go get it. The shop is right next door.
Yeah. I'd love to see your progress on that.
Yeah.
I-beamer.
Are any of you guys, have you ever heard of an event called the Fox 15 Hurl?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, you have?
I've
Oh,
heard
yeah.
of it.
Okay, because Dave Fitzgerald flew in and he flew at the contest. And he announced that at noon between rounds, we were going to have a Fox 15 Hurl. So,
Did he have his box? Did he have his box of Captain Crunchies?
well, there was Tom Luciano brought a Fox 15. And according to these guys, that's the best it's worth, is to throw it.
Ah,
And they marked off a track, and the one who could throw it the furthest won.
Wow.
So, yeah. I don't see that happening at the Nats. I really don't.
Yeah, well,
wow. So you
there's
got
another
your-
one you probably won't see at the Nats. Did you read about the Vintage Combat guys?
No.
They had their get together this weekend and they had a LiPo battery hurl. So
Wow.
Get the same range as that Fox 15.
yeah. I suppose a properly prepared battery would leave its own mark when it landed too, but
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So go ahead, Jim, and tell us what you got there. I know you told me earlier. I don't remember. I know it's an I-beamer, but what is the
Looks
model?
like a
is?
Colossus.
Well, this is a Lunar.
Lunar.
And actually, Warren T. Hart. Let me back up. Warren T. Hart built one and flew it at VSC, and it's right over my computer. I borrowed it this year, and I'm essentially reproducing the airplane. I'll show you his. His is a front row 20-pointer anywhere. But this is a pretty traditional
Yeah, it looks
high
good.
beam style airplane.
Yeah,
Very nice.
looks good. Yeah.
Just
Well,
please be
here's-
careful. It looks like there's a fan over your head.
I turned the fan off.
That looks very
Pretty
good.
traditional. It's all polyspan and dope up to this point. See if I can show you the cockpit, if you can see that.
That blocking coat, is that just a plain gray or is it actually gray with blue in it or what?
It's polar gray, Randolph's
Polar gray.
polar gray.
Very nice.
I don't know if you can really see.
Oh,
that.
yeah, we
Oh,
see
yeah.
instrument
Mhm.
gauges. Very nice.
And
That's nicely done.
cowl. Notice it's a rounded corner, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
very nice.
Avoid the
Wow.
cracks. And it's got louvers.
Oh, look at that. Wow,
The
very
inlet.
nice.
Wow.
I like
Nice.
that.
See the louvers below too.
Yep.
Louvers there.
Wow,
That's-
very nice, Jim.
What's
Boy,
your power? it?
An Aero Tiger. Matter of fact, we
Cool.
just swapped out bearings this week.
Ah, cool deal.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, on the comment on your boxes you're building for your granddaughter.
Yeah.
Somebody said, what are you powering it with? Hugs and kisses.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So
That's
so
pretty
far it's
good.
good. It's on target to end up at about 41 ounces.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Couple concessions to the modern world. The lead outs.
Okay, yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
that was
Teflon.
nice.
I'll use see that button there, Teflon
Yeah.
button, what we'll use.
Yeah. Are you putting an Aero Tiger in there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Very nice.
and
Now your
Nice
buttons
work.
are made out of Delron or brass, or what are they made out of?
the what?
The for the lead out guide, the part that's going in, is it brass?
No, it's Teflon.
Teflon.
Like nylon. It's like think of it as nylon, a lot like nylon.
Okay.
So this tail wheel, I don't know if you can see it. The tail wheel is a hatch, and that's
Oh,
the
wow.
access to the adjustable lead outs.
Very neat.
Very
And
nice.
There's see that hole there?
Yeah.
That's
Hi, this
access
is
to a
Federico. We're chatting on Messenger. What is your name, by the way? Really?
this hole is access to a Bob McDonald style flap horn. It's a split horn. You can loosen the screw, tweak the flaps, snug up the screw.
Nice. Yeah, I've
Very
seen
neat.
that. I've never had one of my planes, but I'm interested in doing that.
It's like a
That's nice.
crazy-
So
Wonder where that
That's
other
just
voice
great.
is coming from.
I got you the phone, say thank you.
here is Warren's airplane.
Wow.
Here's the work of art. So he
Wow,
loaned
that's
me
beautiful.
this.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that one. That's pretty.
This was at VSC some years ago.
Yep.
Wow.
All the features you see on mine are here and vice versa.
Wow.
That's
Very
really
impressive.
pretty.
That's a pretty I-beamer.
Wow, that is.
Warren's really good at drawing them, but I was stunned when I saw how well he can build them too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
photos don't do this airplane justice. This is a 20-point airplane.
Mhm.
Is it an I-beam wing?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
So there's only been 3 of these built. Art Pulowski built the original. Somehow that ended up with Bill Wearwidge.
Yeah.
Warren got the shell, if you will, from Bill Wearwidge, and he used that to draw the plans. But Art Pulowski's son lives in Southern California, and I met him at a contest there a few years ago, and I had just started the project. I had photos of Warren's airplane, and Warren tried to duplicate the paint from Pulowski's father's airplane. And Art Pulowski, the son, said, yeah, he got it. That's how he remembers it.
Wow.
So, to my knowledge, the only 3 that have been built ever are these 2 I just showed you and Pulowski's original. I could be wrong, but that's my best information.
Wow, Jim, that's
I bet you're
amazing.
right on that, though.
No.
Beautiful.
Warren said I
That's
should
just
fly
fabulous.
it first, and I declined.
Yeah, I don't.
Wow, that is so neat.
So that's what I'm doing in the shop.
That is pretty impressive. Now, have you seen the system that Paul Walker has to adjust the flaps?
Yeah. That's Paul Walker's system. This system is lighter than Paul Walker's, but
Okay.
Paul's has some real advantages. I've contemplated using it.
Yeah, but what's a C now?
Yeah, he's just won the worlds, won the nationals many times. What does he
Yeah, but
know?
what have you done for me lately? Hmm?
Yeah, really.
Thank you so much.
Well, he
Jim,
won the
for-
nationals, what, 10 times or something like that, right?
Something
Thank
like
you,
know
that.
how
Jim, for
many-
sharing with us. I appreciate that.
Paul's
I really
one.
admire your craftsmanship, Jim. I've always admired your planes.
Oh,
I've
thank you.
seen maybe
He's a
3
heck
of
of a
them,
builder.
and they are.
Jim, is it your intent to duplicate the color scheme, the colors also?
Yeah. So I'm going to take that airplane to the car paint store and see if they'll try to
Yep.
match it. I keep putting that off. I don't have the courage, but that's the plan.
So is it possible to take butyrate dope and then have them add pigment and it works, or not? Or you have to mix butyrate dope with butyrate dope to get the color you want? You out
My-
of here, Tryon?
Yes.
All right, thank you, man. We'll have pleasant. I think I go to bed and get up and dark in the morning to go to work. So thank you for coming. I appreciate it, Tryon.
Take care,
All right,
Tran.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Good night.
I think I'm going to walk away from the car paint store with car paint.
Okay.
But if I could walk away from that car paint store with pigment to add to clear dope, that would certainly be an acceptable solution too. Either
Jim.
solution is good with me.
Jim, see if you can get hold of Pete Peterson. He's done that for years.
Yeah, but he hasn't tried to match any paint.
No, he hasn't tried to match, but he's got a lot of experience with dope and pigments and knows where to get them.
Yeah, he could tell you how to get the pigments. I haven't been able to get in touch with him. I was going to ask him that because you can buy that intensifier and put it in yellow and cover in one coat. But the best information that I have right now is to do that. Spray yellow over white. And if you want the yellow to really cover, let the can set for 30 days, open the can, pull out about a quart can, pull out 4 to 6 ounces of clear, dip it out. Don't pour it out, dip it out. Put that in another bottle, cover the can, shake it up, and there's your intensified yellow. And that's from a painter, and that's the best information I have so far on that. But I don't know. Wendy used to sell some stuff that intensifier. And if you can get in touch with him and get him to tell you how to get it, it worked in dope really well. All colors. There were several colors, and he also had some dye that worked like A-line dye in clear, and you could get candy apple because one of his planes was candy apple over gold, and it was incredible. But I hadn't been able to get in touch with Wendy. Wendy does not seem to want to talk to. I don't know. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't want to. He don't want to look back on model airplanes or something. He's playing the motorcycles now.
Right. I have a few comments in the chat box. One's from Middlesex Modelers, aka Al Fierro. He says, like sent. The chat is back. Thumbs up. Yes, that's working. That's right. That's right. Last Friday, the chat wasn't working. So I'm glad to see it's back also. And then this guy's handle says, the Jewish redneck prepper. He says, howdy, folks. Shalom. So howdy and welcome. You can't make this stuff
Jewish
up.
redneck prepper. Okay.
That's what he said. And Howard Rush is in here. Howard Rush, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate
Salam.
it. Shalom. Yeah. Shalom.
Lord have
That's
mercy.
right. Awesome.
Oh,
So,
Hey, Howard,
Yeah.
I was with the Daly family for the last 3 days.
Oh, that's a treat.
Yes, and we were talking about that photo of our team with those ladies in the red dresses.
Yes.
And they said that you were one of the happier guys when they showed up. I'm just checking the source.
I was I was busy flying. I didn't really have time to be happier.
No, I know. I think all you guys had a good time. They spoke very well of you.
And I, if given the opportunity, would speak well of them. It was, yeah, a great bunch of folks.
They are. They are.
yeah.
Hmm.
So anybody do any flying? How about you, Howard? You do any flying lately? I know you've been working on the old dog. I mean, the new dog.
About 10 minutes ago, it got dark though, and I had to quit.
So you was flying the new dog?
Now I'm flying the old dog.
Okay.
How'd you get it apart so quick?
How'd
It's
I
laying
get?
behind you. It's laying behind you, isn't it?
I think that's the new dog behind him.
Oh, that's the new dog behind me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. He's flying the old dog. Okay.
Old dog
I got
is there.
We may
Oh,
get
okay.
it big so people can see that.
Yeah.
Want to show it to me again, Howard?
Here I am, big.
There you are. You're big, and that's the old dog.
That's the old dog, and that's the new dog, just to prove that there's two of them.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the paint would prove that. One's black and white.
Yeah, it's not like Superman and Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
that's it.
Two different critters.
Well, how does the old dog fly now that you've flown the new dog?
Not very well.
Oh me.
Let's see. Let me turn the camera around. I'll show you.
It's amazing what you can get used to, huh? When you fly an old plane that you used to think was a good flying plane.
Just
And then
stuck a lot of clay on it to
Oh, wow.
move the CG forward. I don't know how that thing got tail heavy in 6 weeks without flying, but it did.
Wow. Well, you getting ready to leave, Keith?
No,
What you got?
by popular demand, I've got a Bob McDonald control horn here.
All
thank
right.
you very much.
Has everybody seen these things?
Not
Nope.
It's been a long
not
time.
outside the airplane. I've only seen him inside the airplane.
Well, this is not meant for the flaps yet, but you got the idea. This is a horn, right?
right.
Okay. And the adjustable part comes, the little bolt here, and loosen that up. And then I hope you can see this. We're there.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
You can adjust. And the whole thing comes apart.
So the
Well, that's
music
a nicer
wire
looking unit than mine.
telescopes.
Mine's made with brass. Who made that one?
Bob, this is from Bob McDonald.
Well, he's doing a nicer job on the newer ones.
And anyway, that's the way it works.
Very
By the
nice.
way, the first one of those I ever saw was in Bill Werwich's airplane.
That's nice.
That is
Mhm.
very nice. I'm
Yeah.
going to reach out to Bob McDonald and buy a couple of those.
Yeah, don't try doing it yourself. It's harder than it looks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I spent a week trying to make one of those things work and gave up. Of my own poor design.
Yeah, braiding these things and keeping things so it's comes together like it should and all that. That's a good trick.
Yes.
And having the access hole exactly aligned up with that bolt is really important.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Well, on my Martin Baker I've got that same sort of access hole. And Martin Baker goes through the fuselage side, and then there's a doubler inside of that, spaced apart from the fuselage side. So the hole is just big enough for the ball driver to go through. And so it self-aligns, as long as the flap's in the right position, it self-aligns right where the, to go right into the ball or the bolt. So, but you're right, Jim, it's important that you have that hole lined up.
Yeah, my Snoopy has it misaligned. It is not fun.
Let's see, I think I can show you Martin Baker.
How much do those horns go for roughly?
I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't know that he really actively sells them. I mean, I don't know if he's, I don't know. I'm gonna guess I paid $20-$30 each for them five years ago.
I bought one 20 years ago. It was like $23 or something like that.
Okay, I have to find Bob McDonald's number, contact information. Hey, Mike Lonke's in the house. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Doing well. I'll give you a moment after we've looked at this to bring us your report on your adventures this weekend.
Sure.
So what are you going to show us there, Keith?
Well, same hole like Jim showed you on his Aeron
Okay. Oh, excellent.
thing.
I'm curious, how do you get that hole lined up? How do you do that so that it is exactly?
Very carefully.
Yep. And you make the adjustment very carefully because you could do a lot of damage
Yeah.
if things slip.
So what do you use, like a stick pin to go through the fuselage sides until you go through the hole of the flap?
Well, you have to go in and sort of feel for it. And there it is. Got it. And no, it's not either. But anyway, there's a tube, there's probably a 1/2 inch long tube in there that lines the ball driver. And as long as the flap's in the right position, you'll get right onto the bolt.
Okay, that's interesting. I was actually thinking about how did you protect that hole from deteriorating from using the ball driver? So you have
It's got aluminum tube in there.
Very cool.
I guess the really good news is that you don't have to use it, a lot.
Yeah, once you get it, you shouldn't have to use it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it's kind of a two-man job.
Yeah.
Because
somebody hold the flaps and and then getting it so it's tight again. You don't want this thing coming loose, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a painful day at the field, but you do it once.
But it's a lot better. It's a lot better than tweaking flaps.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Keith.
I
So
don't know.
Bob
I got to
McDonald
really. Whoever is talking, keep going. I didn't have
Bob
much to
McDonald
say.
makes lots of very clever little machine parts for his airplanes.
Yes.
He's showed me quite a number of them, and we've copied them here. Push rod adjustments, landing gear mounts. He's a clever guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else was clever? Was that Alan Parrott?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked his lead out termination jig, and I actually spoke to him about it. Got some measurements as I had intended to make one. But I like people's jigs. I've always, any jig. I'm really intrigued by jigs.
That was it. My dad was a tool maker, and he was always trying to make a fixture for this or for that or something like that. To drill the damn hole. He says, no. We got to line this up and everything like that. Put it, just drill the hole, will ya?
Okay.
You know, they made a big point about drilling square holes. All right, so
I used to hang out with a tool and die maker basically as well, and
yeah,
those are interesting people.
absolutely,
Interesting people.
So,
Yeah. Unfortunately, my friend passed away at about 83 years old, but guy had
Yeah.
a beautiful mind,
Yeah.
and the name is Art Divine. You might not
okay.
know who he was, but he's one who actually invented the gigabyte hard drive.
Really?
Yeah, I just sold it to Seagate or some big manufacturer, you know, probably 10, 20 years ago. But yeah, this guy, and I had a lot of time working in his shop, and he actually had me do some work for him. He'd set up the job, and I'd run parts and do things for him. But I learned a lot from this guy. So, anyways, did I
Well,
welcome you, Phil? Did I welcome you? I want to welcome you if I can, if I didn't. But thank you for coming in. I appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you. Can't stay
this
long,
has
but
to
I thought I'd come
be
in and say hello.
this has to be the, you know, considering what we've had so far tonight and everything. This is absolutely the world's worst show and tell. But,
What is that? Let me make you big.
and that's it. That is the piece of tip weight I removed from my Stuka stunt, so I can put it on spectral lines.
Oh,
Wow, that's
Wow.
It was sandwiched between the weight box and the tip rib. All right. It was glued against the rib with the weight box glued up against it. So that was a pretty good trick getting it out.
I
But
bet. So
yeah,
how did you get it out?
just some long knives, some screwdrivers, creative
hammer.
language, and
Ooh.
you know, all the usual stuff. So
Yeah.
So was it glued in with just CA, or what kind of glue was it?
I think it was C8 in there. I'm not sure. I think I had it like C8 to the rib and in the box, you know, the tip weight box glued up against it, because you glue the tip, you know, if you're going to build in a tip weight, you put it in such a way that it never comes out, right?
Yeah.
Even when you want it to. So
The reason why I asked is because I know epoxy is tricky to remove, and I found some success with Jasco paint and epoxy remover. I
mhm.
use like a little dropette, and I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
you
Well,
just
something like this,
drop it.
I actually try to like capture it, like it was in there and it had a piece of balsa over and under it that fit to the rib and stuff. And so it was all glued around it, if you will. You know, there was some glue on this, but it was kind of encapsulated when the box went over it. The box was attached to wood. It wasn't, you know, it was
I'm so
attached to
happy
this,
to
but it
hear
was
I'm not the
attached to
only
wood to
one that
everything.
over engineers himself into a corner.
Yeah. So. Well, that's it. And, you know, I never intended to take it out. Obviously,
Yeah.
never thought I would. And I put a half-size tip weight box in it because, you know, half ounce and everything like that had to be almost it. And I think I had like one piece of weight in there, you know, with the 15,000 steel lines, but that's too much. You know, it's just going to be too much for that airplane when I put it on the Spectra. And I have put slugs, you know, weight on some of my inboard wings because I didn't want to bother doing that. But I don't want to do that any more than I have to. Although after I did this, I decided when I got to the barnstormer, I decided, you know what, a little too much tip weight is probably okay. So just let it go at that. And
Hey, Dennis,
yes,
can
sir.
can you use spectral lines for lead outs?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I've talked about how to do it and stuff like that. I think if you do, you have to do something like the bell crank, the fork style bell crank that have a pin going through it. I think you need
Yeah.
something like that. If you do that, then you can do it pretty easily. So, and then the other thing is, I don't think I would ever build them in where I couldn't get to them or I couldn't inspect them routinely and stuff like that.
Right.
Ideal thing would be, you know, like a take apart airplane or something, but even then, tell you what I'm looking at. I've from my brother's estate, I got one of those Elliptias or whatever it is that Russell's selling, that flapless airplane. And that has a plug-in wing, and that's going to get, I'm going to run the lines all the way to the bell crank on that. It's not going to have any lead outs. I'm going to see how that is. So
I've
Oh,
wondered
see.
about that myself. That ought to be neat.
Yeah, I think I've seen, a couple of years ago at the Nats, Constantine, I can never,
Yeah.
starts with a B, it's his last name, and that's as close as I can get. But that's what he had his lines running all the way to the bell crank on his airplane, and you could see him taking the airplane out of the hotel into the car, and he had one wing attached, right? So he wasn't trying to take it apart every flight or anything like that, so.
Trey
But
and
frankly, with not having to worry about things like kinking and stuff like that, I feel a little uh, more empowered with trying to make the lines attach and then rubber banding them to the wingtip or something like that. And I don't think
That's what I've been
that'll
thinking of doing.
be a
But
problem. So,
with the advent of lightweight handles and all that, you can do that without worrying about every time you lay the plane down, it slamming down and breaking it or denting it or something.
well, worry about, the reel comes loose with a set of lines or something like that. They can start kinking, bending and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. And, kinks are bad. So we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
So,
that ought to be neat. It ought to be
Mhm.
really neat. I noticed this weekend, that Lonky's airplane, the Axioma, has one of the neatest line clip systems I've seen. It's got the clips on it that I used to use when I'd replace the wire in my handle. I'd buy these clips that it looks kind of like that. It's aluminum, and you put one side of the wire through one and take it down and bring it back to the other side, and then you crimp it. And that's what we used to use crimp connects on it.
Mhm.
So anyway, they got that on a piece of piano wire that just slides in. It doesn't crimp; it just slides in, and that's what holds your lines together. I thought that was so cool. It's just so neat. I'm wondering why I didn't think of that, because I on my biplane had been going to. I decided I did this airplane. It's really a 38 special, but it's restyled to look like an SE5A. The
Mhm.
problem is on the 38 special, your lines have a line slider on the inboard wing. On the SE5A, in order to try to make it look period correct, I put essentially a piece of dowel rod with some holes in it. But when you want to move the lines, you have to cut the line and move it. Well, with the advent of these new lines, you can slip it right through there. It's not a problem. But then how do you secure it to the bell crank? Well, there was my answer. Just make up a clip and put it on there, and it works. I tried to use salt water. It's just like the old clips we used to use that had the slider that slid down. You know what I'm talking about, Dennis. I can't think of what you call them.
Buckthorn.
The saltwater ones have a great big end on them. The problem is where it goes through the fuselage on a 38 special is too small for those things to fit through there.
Mhm.
So it worked in theory, but when I went to hook it up, this don't fit. It didn't fit. So anyway, we skipped that idea real quick. But I saw those and I came home and started playing with that idea, and it didn't take but about 20 minutes to make some up, and it works fine. So we will be back
Yeah.
flying 38 special again.
Yeah.
I got tired of moving. Every time I had to move the lead outs, I had to cut the lead out wires and redo it. It's a pain. This made it easy.
Yeah, that is. So yeah, I'd
Hang
like
on,
to see
hang
if
on a
I can
second,
try it
Dennis.
like that.
Dennis, 1 second, Dennis. John, hang on. I see your hand is raised, but I've been waiting for Mike to get a chance to say his piece. Mike, you stepped away from the camera. Mike.
Yeah, it's okay. I gotta go grab something, but y'all go ahead.
Thanks. All right, go ahead, John.
Okay, I just wanted to make
And then
mention.
Dennis.
I just want to make mention for Dennis's sake. Some time ago, Tran was talking about using a 500-pound Kevlar for his lead outs. And it apparently works pretty good. They're very flexible, but they're much, much tougher than the Spectra lines.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, believe it or not, they're using Spectra to replace Kevlar in things like bulletproof vests and stuff like that. It's
Really?
actually, yeah.
I've heard that before
and
too.
things like cut-through gloves and vests and things like that. It's actually supposed to be tougher than the Kevlar is. And then as far as if you go even the regular Spectra fishing line and stuff, some of the original Power Pro is available, and I think up to a 200-pound test, which is comparable to like an 027 lead out. All right. So and I've been looking at some of the heavier line and stuff for spear fishermen use it. They're using the Spectre line too on their spears for, retrieving a spear and everything like that. And they've got it in like 500-pound test, reasonable size for like a cable handle or something like that. What I haven't seen is a good way to grab the Spectra in a handle. All right. And not going to squeeze it, in clamps or anything like that. I think it needs something better than that. If I could find a good way to do that, I might investigate a cable handle again. But I'm not going to just, squish it down with a clamp or something like that. I just don't think that's the right way to do it. So, but
Go ahead, Jim.
I heard some conversation about using Kevlar and materials like that as lead outs. I would just urge people to think about our control systems. They're in there forever and they need to go for potentially thousands of flights. And we have experience with the systems we use. And things like Kevlar could easily maybe cut through a bell crank or something. So I urge people to be cautious about that. There's a lot more to it than strength. There's wear
absolutely right.
Well, what Dennis is talking about though is using it on some kind of take apart model, aren't you, Dennis? Where you'd be.
Yeah. Well, and if it wasn't on a take apart, I would have an airplane with a hatch right over the bell crank, and I could.
Well, the
I
solution,
want to both inspect it and replace it if need be. So
the solution to making sure it doesn't cut through the bell crank is to use bell crank buttons that we've used in combat for many, 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 many years. We do it with braided steel line. We do it with Spectre line. And the buttons that I all have, I believe I got them from Phil Cartier. And when I make up a set of lines, either Spectra or steel, I tie them around an X-Acto knife because that is just a hair bigger than the size of the buttons that Phil made for me. So when you got your steel cable or your Spectre line tied around this X-Acto knife and you slide it on, it's almost a friction fit to get it right over the top of the button, and it's never coming off, because you'd have to lift the line to get it to pop off the button. But that's one solution for using Spectre. If you want to go right to the bell crank instead of using a connector, I would use buttons.
Yeah, I was thinking that the thing I'm worried about is like, and even on a combat model, you do that and it works well and everything like that, but you don't fly 1,000 flights on a combat model. I think that's playing back to what Jim was saying. I don't know if there is a friction, if there's a friction angle on there. Does the line deteriorate? Does the button deteriorate? Is heaven forbid, does it need to be lubricated to protect the metal side of it? And does the lubricant, mess up the plastic side of it, things like that. And
well, the biggest thing is they're external.
That's very much the overthinking stage, if I can borrow Phil's commentary there. But I don't think it's insurmountable. I think it's just a question of doing the work. Like right now, I would be perfectly happy using those metal rings we've been using and putting those over a set of buttons. And I'll bet those would last forever. But
I have a comment from Gerald Wimmer. He says, "Hello all. I've tried Kevlar line for lead outs and it's so much nicer to use than steel. I used knots which seem to work and don't rust unseen like steel." Thank you, Gerald.
One more time, you'll never kink the lead outs getting them in and out of the car, and you won't have that kinked lead out going through a tube and getting hung up, and things like that. There are at least some compelling reasons to use it, and it's just I think it's very much a just do it. And what Mike is saying, the combat guys are doing that. They're not using oversized line, they're using their flying line right to the bell crank, and it works for them. I don't know if there's a longevity angle, and I don't know if they know that really.
Well, the easy thing is these are on external bell cranks, so we can look at them and see them.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at them every time you take them on and off. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
look at your termination and see what's going on. That would be obviously different inside of a stunt plane if you didn't have some way to look at them, you know.
Well, even then, do you wind up the lines and keep them with the airplane, don't you? Or
I
do
do.
you take them off every time?
No, we just put a spool of lines on every wing.
And just rubber band it to the wing and you're good to
Mhm.
go. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Let me welcome Al Fierro. Thank you, Al, for coming in. Appreciate it.
hey,
Yeah.
Mr. Super Satan, what,
Yes.
14.5 with it? My God, that's
Yeah, it was
great.
a little
What is
slower
that?
than
That's
that.
about 125?
Yeah, 120. Yeah, something like 125, 126.
Oh,
It went-
Super Saiyan.
In the
Wow.
past, it was a little warm yesterday. In the past, the best is 129.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very nice.
I just wanted to see that Blackhead Combat Special doing 100 on a half fast. Holy mackerel.
that's cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's my
There you go.
slasher. I actually didn't fly that yesterday. I flew it last year.
Okay.
Roy Glenn flew it last year. He did 124 with the slasher. But yeah, we had a great day. A lot of fun.
It
How did it
sounds like
turn
it.
at that speed?
What's that?
How was the turns on it when it was that fast? That's
I don't turn it. I mean,
okay.
if I mean, Tom Luciano, turns his. I'd be devastated if it went in. So I don't turn it. I have Larry's signature on the plane and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
guess I'm a little
was
surprised
almost
you
not
even
going to
fly
fly
it,
it. So it's mine. They turn well. Mine turns really good. There's a video of Roy flying mine and from last year, and just going through the maneuvers. They turn really well.
Mhm.
Actually, we do one of the events we do at our vintage festival is it's called Stunt Speed.
Mhm.
So Tom holds the record, Luciano, doing stunt speed with a Super Saint.
Wow.
So you got to do all the maneuvers, except you have to do they have to be recognizable. So, but you don't have to. Only one lap in between the maneuvers. So if you do a set of loops, well, if you do like your after you come out of your loops and you go to your squares, you just go around one lap and do your next set of next squares. And same thing with the eights and everything like that. Except when you go inverted, only 4 laps inverted and only a lap and a half before you go into the overturns. So that's those are rules we've been running with. And I mean, we had one year Bob Hunt did it with his sweet sweep, electric plane. So it's, Phil Cartier was there. He's doing a lot better, and he took a crack at it. And he flew the pattern with his. He just used a speed limit plane. But
It was a lot of fun. He is a lot of fun.
We had a full day. I mean, we were there from 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock, and then we headed out to the restaurant and spent another 2 hours there.
That sounds like a darn good day of model flying. That's all I can say.
It does.
Yep. Yeah. Roy Glenn was there actually, and he put a good speed up with Tom Super Satan. He broke 120 with his.
Yeah.
Well, damn. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I have one more comment from Gerald Wimmer. He says control line systems wear, and often it is the metal to metal joints that go first.
Mhm.
Rusty leadouts are the worst.
Mhm.
And then Jeff Riley chimed in. He said, back in the day, I used to use 1/16 piano wire with the Z bend at the bell crank.
Yeah.
For a lead out?
Ooh.
Wow.
That's
Never
actually
use a
how
Z-bend on a lead out. Yeah,
the Estes Junior Ringmaster and full-size Ringmaster kit shows that as the lead out. They give you a piece of piano wire and they tell you to put a Z-bend in it and put that in the bell crank. It's right on the plans. Man.
Oh, no.
no, thank
Bad
you.
idea.
I'm dead serious. I'm serious as a heart attack. The Estes version of the Ringmasters show that as a lead out.
Wow.
Actually, the other thing I was wondering, and same old thing, I don't know how exactly to grab it, but wouldn't it be fun to do something like use one of Ted Fancher's old round bell cranks and one big old piece of Spectre wrapped around it instead of the cable, and that might be a forever system because with a great big radius like that, there'd be like no stress on it at all. And
yeah, but you got to figure out how to fasten it to that bell crank without
I
overstressing
never
it
figured
there.
out how he made that work, but I'd sure like to try it sometime. So
Yeah.
I kept looking for all the guides and stuff on the side, and it apparently didn't have that. So I don't know.
I know it was pinned at the bottom, and then he had like a ring around it at 2 points. It was not halfway around, it was like a third. It was where when the thing was full span, it was not putting it in the bind.
Yeah.
But then it went through. I talked to him about it tonight because I wanted to know how that thing would work, and he said you could put some guides in the wing in the first or second rib that would keep it at that particular point all the time, because think of it, it never gets smaller or larger because it's round. But I never had the guts to try it. I never had a round bell crank anyway, so I'd like to try it sometime myself. But without too much further ado, we better let Mike tell how he and Junior did at the contest in Georgia. Camden, Georgia. Because I'm going to tell you, I watched him fly. I didn't get to fly, but I watched Mike fly, and I was kind of glad I was grounded. He's flying very well. He's come on very, very quickly in the last, just since Brodak, he's flying remarkably better now.
Well, thank you for that, Phil. Yeah, it was a good weekend. Beautiful weather. We got there Saturday. We didn't fly. We practiced on Saturday. We didn't enter any events, but I do got a bunch of pictures of the airplanes from Saturday I can share, as well as Sunday's events. I ended up in second place in advance with the Axioma first contest, so I was pretty happy with that. Only 2.5 points out of tying with John Bender, so I was right there with the winner. We flew the airplane Saturday a couple times. Derek put a couple of flights on it for me, and the only thing he noticed, it was just slightly tip up both directions, so we added a little bit of tip weight, and then he noticed that it turned just a little bit quicker inside than it did outside, and I wasn't noticing that, but he did. We made one slight adjustment to the handle, and after that, it was money. I mean, Derek was pretty impressed with the airplane. He said it didn't need really anything, He felt that it had plenty of line tension everywhere. Lap times were good, and I got the active timer set right. Power's coming on and off where it needs to. So I don't think I'm going to touch it, other than maybe screwing with the RPMs a little bit, based on the wind, on windy days and stuff like that. I'm going to leave everything just the way it is, except for the lead outs. The lead outs are coming out of that airplane. Something kind of scary happened after the contest yesterday. Tryon wanted to fly.
Tryon flew it, yeah.
Tryon flew it, and in the square eights, he was ringing it out, doing a few different things. And in the square eights, the lead outs bound up. They locked on him, and he damn near crashed the airplane.
Oh, damn. Ooh, that would have been terrible.
So they locked up how? The line clips locked up or what?
Well, those big slide crimps that Phil was just talking about, they caught
together.
They caught on each other. I'll show you. I got the airplane out here to do it. I've never been crazy about the lead out setup on this airplane anyway, since I got it. Number one, the cable is 52 thousandths on this airplane.
Huge.
Holy mackerel.
It is.
Huge.
It's 52 thou. And the setup for, bear with me here for a second. I'm going to try to grab this without getting it any hanger rash. The setup for the lead outs is this right here. So that's what Phil is talking about. There's a 50 thousandths cable, and then it has a piece of piano wire on it, right? With something
Right.
that looks like our standard, slide clip, the Luxors or whatever they were. And then there's a ferrule on there. There's a slide on there. And this appears to be just a piece of aluminum that's been crimped to fit over both pieces. See, it won't come off that one wire. It's
Raise it up a little bit, Mike.
Can't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trying to hold the airplane out here at the same time. Anyway, this clip slides over this, obviously.
Right.
And that's what, so let me just do that real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it's a lot of material out there. I think it's too much. It's clunky. And I haven't been overly crazy about it since I got the airplane, but I figured, well, this is what the European guys use, right? This is how they do it, so it must be fine. That's what
to take apart airplane. That would be the first place I would try the lines like you're talking about that go all the way to the bell crank.
So we got that much space. It's kind of normal spacing on the lead out guide. That's every bit of an inch,
Right.
But somehow or another, let me get this over here because we replicated it on the ground afterwards. What must have happened is one got hooked in the other like that.
Yeah, that is
just long enough.
Tubing over it, Mike?
Say again?
No tubing? You don't put any tubing over it like you do on the combat planes?
No, I didn't. I probably should have, but I don't know if that would have prevented that particular thing. But I've had no issue with it. I mean, I probably have over 50 flights on it now, and I've never had that happen. But we replicated this on the ground, and Tryon said that is exactly what I felt in the air. So I know that's the issue. So the other thing that came out of this, these are exactly the same length, right? They exit the airplane, and they're the same length. So I know that Joe Daly, Steven is flying one of these. So I called him up just to kind of give him a heads up about it and inquire if he's ever had that issue with his. And when we got to talking, his lead outs are staggered on his Axiom. Okay, so if they were staggered, it wouldn't be an issue, right?
right.
Because you'd never get that overlap.
Sure.
So one of two things happened with my airplane. Either he didn't start staggering the lead outs on the planes until after he built my plane, or he just plumb forgot to do it on my plane. So I need to get a hold of Gene Martin, Mike Waldron, Frank Donnelly, and John Sanders, who all have Axiomas too, and Mike Scott. And
Will Davis.
Will's supposed to get back with me on his. Everybody else who has one, I want to know if their lead outs are staggered or if they're even. And then maybe I can gauge kind of what happened. If some airplanes have them or if, earlier models did not have them. I'm not real sure. But one thing I can tell you, those are getting cut off the airplane. I'm going to just go in with some 027 and do some staggered lead outs myself. So
yeah,
I noticed
pretty
several
sure
years
Howard and Paul have been using a 3-inch stagger or something like that on theirs.
Yeah.
Well,
Paul Walker does and Bob Hunt does.
And they
I
managed to
like
get the
it.
lead outs real close together too, which seems like a good thing. So.
Go ahead, Jim.
I used the stagger on my last one. You have to stagger it dramatically because it's not just the eyelets, it's the connectors too have to be.
Sure.
You have to have enough stagger that they never touch. And it's a dramatic amount of stagger.
Yeah.
But you'll never hook up your lead outs backwards.
Yeah, there's that. Well, and on this too, I don't know if you noticed how long they are, and that's that's to facilitate assembly of the airplane. So there's absolutely plenty of room in there for me to put longer lead outs in and be able to stagger and get plenty of overlap. So I'm not worried about that. But those are going away. I won't fly the airplane again in the condition it's in. There's just no way. Because I'll tell you what, Tryon was shook. I was shook. You know, we both saw what happened, and he thought something had let go in the airplane. You know, he thought for sure he was going to crash the damn thing. But luckily it didn't happen. And we found out exactly what it is, and there's an easy solution to it. So thankfully, no harm, no foul, and we know what the fix is. So
it shook Tran bad enough. Tran just went around in circles for the rest of the flight.
well, I told him to. I walked out to the center of the circle. I said,
I thought I saw you walk out there. So
I said, don't do anything else. And he said, well, it's fine now. And I said, I don't care. You know, don't do anything else, because if it happens again, we might not get lucky enough for it to come undone.
Exactly the same way.
It was spooky to watch.
So, but Tryon liked the airplane. You know, he liked it and said it needed nothing other than fixing the lead outs, obviously. But he dug the plane, and he said it's very capable. You know, so there's that. And then I want to brag on Smith Brothers again. You want to
make it big? Just give me a second here.
For those of you out there, this is I picked up one of these. This is the new improved Smith Brothers Stunt high performance handle. This is their new carbon fiber handle. And this one, it's basically the same diameter and size as the other one, except you've got one extra hole on the top and one extra hole on the inside for those who want, you know, narrower handle spacing, or those who want a little bit more. So it's got 4 added holes on there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Jim said after I showed this handle the first time, he got 4 orders for handles after people watching the Hangouts. So I figure I'd give him a little TV time on this one too.
This is Jim or Wayne Smith?
Wayne Smith.
What's Wayne doing anyway?
He's good. Him and Kathy were there. Yeah, Kathy was helping run the show. Of course, Doug and his wife, Patterson's, they were there running the thing. And of course, Tom Dixon was there. It was his contest. I do have some, if y'all want to see some pictures, I can show you pictures.
Yeah, let me just welcome Caffeine. Hey, Caffeine, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hi.
All right.
How are you guys
Good
doing?
to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. So go ahead, Mike. You're all set up for sharing.
Okay. How do I get? Jeez Louise.
Just a minute, Stuart. I'll get you after Mike shows what he's gonna share.
There's Mr. Tom Dixon. I'll go through these pretty quick too, guys. This is profile day. That's Wayne Smith's Cavalier.
Nice.
It flew amazingly well.
I'm not sure whose ringmaster that is. I'm not sure who that belongs to either. So this was profile, classic, N30, and old time Saturday.
That's Tom's plane there. It's the Chief.
Yeah, that's Don Jenkins' airplane.
That's pretty.
Yep. Tom Weedman's, I believe.
Yeah, that's him.
Tom Weedman's profile. I think that's a Dixon kit.
OS 45, and it flew amazingly well too.
Don't know who that belonged to.
I don't know either.
The Oriental?
JP.
The Ag Wagon, who was that? That was that was Tom Weedman too, I believe.
Tom Weedman, yeah.
Yep, he just finished that one not long ago. Vector, ARF, no big deal. Another electric Mustang.
Hey, yeah, that's the one we raffled off at Rodak.
Yeah,
Is it?
It flies great. It flies great.
Who got that?
That's Kermit Payne. Kermit Payne. The Vector you just looked at, the Ringmaster in front of it, and that one are all Kermit Payne's airplanes. That little Mustang flies incredibly well. He's flying it very well. He moved, his flying stepped up considerably when he changed to that.
All right.
Master.
Tom Dixon's. Don't know who that is.
Is that?
Oh,
That's Leroy Polk's there. All right, so that's that day. This is
Dixon's lost weight, I think, huh?
yeah, he has. He's walking a lot.
This is Pampa Day. That's Sam's Tom Dixon Profile Vector 40 that he's been flying. Of course, there's the Axioma.
Right well.
Well, that's a pretty plane, Mike.
Thank you. Will Davis's SV11. Scott Seiler came up with him and flew that. That's Leroy's again. That is John Bender's airplane. That's the one he flew in Tampa.
Well, what is that?
You know, I'm not sure.
I think it's a
I asked him
United.
about 3 times, but I never did get an answer.
I think that's a United.
Okay, that'd be my guess too.
That does look like a United, kind of think of.
Just
Yeah.
by the rudder, that's when they recognizes me as the
Yeah,
rudder.
pointy rudder, the square wingtips, and the bubble canopy. It's the Rodak / Tom or not Tom, Bob Lampione design.
Okay. Well, he flew it very well. That's for sure.
He did.
Yeah, that's that is Mike Lindler's time machine. Another Vector. There's Derek's Cutlass
That is
XL.
pretty. That is a pretty plane.
That thing is as pretty in the air as it is on the ground. Wow.
That is pretty.
And it will turn. Good gracious.
And you probably can't see it in the photograph, but on the rudder where it says XL, he wrote the words "Cursed Edition." Because that is the airplane that he had in black and red with the D on the fuselage that the paint all bubbled up on him on. It was the Nats plane from 2 years ago that all the paint bubbled up on, and he stripped that airplane completely down and repainted it from what it was. So he calls it the Cursed Edition. Another Vector. Another. There's yeah, a lot of the same planes were flown 2 days in a row.
Tom Dixon's plane.
That's Tom's, yeah.
That's a stylized time machine there.
Yeah, there's
That's Will Davis's.
Will Davis's Max B and Tryon's airplane, the Revolutions. And of course, when I posted this picture on our site, had about 1 million guys asking, what happened? Did he crash it?
Yeah.
Nobody realized that that's how he puts the battery in and out of it. So it was pretty funny reading the comments on that.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, though, doesn't it? So
pretty clean break, though.
Yeah.
You should have seen it when I got there Friday night. He had 2 of them laying there looking like that. Mine and his were both laying there. And I tried to get a picture of it, and I never did. I never did get the picture. I just looked, and I didn't
Bill,
get it.
but does this mean did yours actually follow you
actually
home this
flew it.
time?
I actually flew it. I felt good Friday when I got there, and we flew Friday night. And Trayan kept telling me, hit the corners harder, hit the corners harder, fly it deeper into the bottom of the squares. I'm trained if I fly any lower, I'm gonna be cutting grass. But it flies incredibly well. You can pull out at 2 feet and make it, because I did it several times. But my wife is screaming, get it up, and Trayan saying, get it down, get it down. This thing will turn. It's got an incredible turn. But me and the hotel room bed didn't get along Friday night. I got up Saturday morning so sore I couldn't walk. And Sunday was just more of the same, so I didn't get to fly. But we're working
That's
on
too
it.
bad. That
Well,
stinks.
I looked at pictures my wife took of me, and I'm all hunched over like an old man, look like I've been walking on a short cane. And I said, I got to do something about this. She said, put your hands in your back pockets, push your shoulders back, and hold your head back. So I tried doing that for a few hours, and it eased up a little bit. But by that time, they were already well into the second round, and it was too late. So anyway, the way it went, club got the money, so that's all that matters, Try to
Let me
support them when I can.
welcome Lynn Burrell. Hey, Lynn,
Hi,
thanks
guys.
for coming in.
Hey,
Man, how you
Lynn.
doing?
How are we doing?
Doing well. How are
Doing
you?
great.
Good, good.
You been doing any flying lately?
I had a contest on the weekend.
Oh,
How'd you
well,
do?
how'd it go?
It went okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
that means you won
That don't
every
sound
event,
good.
right?
No, I was fifth.
Okay. Because
Oh,
when Joe
Lord.
Gilbert said he had an okay day, he won everything.
Yeah, Joe Gilbert's had a few of those.
Yeah.
Guys,
All
I'm gonna
good.
get out of here. We'll see y'all Friday night. Yeah, Friday night.
All right, Phil.
Whenever.
Thanks for
Take
coming
it
in.
easy, Phil.
Yes, sir. Take care. You
Take care,
too.
Phil.
Take care, y'all.
All right, we'll do. So you took fifth, you said,
Yes.
with
yes.
the bear?
Yes, with the pipe.
Oh, nice.
And you and the pipe still getting along?
I thought we were, but I guess the judges didn't think so.
All right. Is the motor still happy?
Yeah, the motor's running good. I
That's
can't
good.
complain. I made a couple of tactical errors on my first flight, though. I forgot to bump it, and that was a big mistake. So of course it wouldn't start right up, and I had to call an attempt, and then I came back up to try again, and I ran it too lean, and not super lean, but lean. And so then I had an overrun because it
Oh,
wasn't
boy.
it didn't use enough fuel.
Yeah.
But I thought my second flight was much better. It ran very nice and it was good. I didn't have any problems on the second flight,
Yeah.
so it was fine. And you know what? You can't win them all.
Nope.
You can't win them all, and some days go better than others, and it's all good. We move on.
Jim had to go, so he's out of here.
Who had to go?
Jim Hoffman.
Okay.
But sorry I interrupted you. Did you
No,
finish?
that's fine. It's all
Okay.
good.
Let
How
me
about you,
catch
Chuck?
up on the chat box real quick. Mark Lumen said, got you liked watching tonight in Miami, teaching the 737, just trying to figure where to put the lead outs. Gonna need a big handle. And he got some laughing faces.
Long lines.
Yeah, long lines. And I don't know what kind of diameter lines you need to fly a 737.
I don't know. I have to be at the max.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Gerald Wimmer said, had autos much flown our flight streak controls lock up on me 2 weeks ago. A worn bell crank bushing caused the bell crank to lean over and jam on the push rod under tension, flew out the fuel. Yeah, well, I'm glad you didn't crash the plane. And yeah, it's scary. I've had I think my red Strega actually adjusted. I have independent lead outs and I put them less than an inch and they locked up, and that freaked me out when you don't have any control. And that scared me. So I had a close call with my actually I think I did have a rough landing. It happened on landing. So I was dead sticking it, and I wanted to flare out, but I couldn't get a flare. So it was a hard landing. And are you okay, Keith? We're not boring you, I hope, are you? Keith Trossel? I just wonder if he was okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So
guys, I gotta go.
All righty.
Y'all be
Thanks,
good.
Mark, for
Easy, Mark.
thanks for coming in, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
care,
you got
Mark.
a bell crank there for us, Lynn.
Yeah,
Brotto?
this is my first bell crank with Kevlar lead outs. It turned out pretty nice.
Did you
Very
wrap
Now, wait a
those?
minute. You crimped that.
No,
Or
I
did
actually
you crimp
wrapped it with copper wire and then put CA on it.
I'll be
Okay.
darned. Okay.
And it's really strong. Like, I mean, unbelievable.
Have you tried seeing if you can saw through the bell crank?
Well, what I did is I tapered the sides of the bell crank. I took the holes and I as you can see, I put a taper on them.
Yeah, I see that.
That way, there's no way that there's anything really for it to saw against. It's tapered. It's not a square corner.
Mhm.
So I don't think it'll ever saw through that. I just don't.
I guess I'd worry about it the other way too. The Kevlar could actually damage the plastic, or the nylon bell crank. But,
Right. Well, it's one of those windy
Yeah,
composite
yeah.
bell cranks of some kind. I I'm gonna go for it anyway. I'm the first one I'm putting in a Ringmaster 576, so we'll see what it does.
Okay.
We'll give it a try.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly the living you know what out of it next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fly it probably more than any other airplane. I'm just gonna fly it and fly it and fly it. I've heard about this guy, Joe Gilbert, who knows how to fly one of these things, so I have to give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a Flight Streak 576.
You mean Ringmaster?
I mean, I had one of those too. I had both. Ringmaster and a Flight Streak, supersized.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
All right.
And,
What one did you like better?
probably the Flight Streak.
Okay.
Because that was my test bed. I actually put different motors on it. I had a LA 46 on it and Enya 45 on it, and maybe even a Super Tiger 51, I think.
Okay.
So it was my test bed.
I'm contemplating trying to have this Ringmaster done in less than 2 weeks and have it ready for the Ringmaster Flyathon, but we'll see.
Oh, that'd be cool. And Stuart, you had a comment or question. I hope you haven't forgotten what you wanted to say.
So, I was talking to Jim Lee today, and I was asked him about these they're thrust wedges, he calls them. And they go under for the motor mount.
Yeah.
You guys ever used them?
I have.
I have.
Yeah. Okay. They go. How many degrees normally do you go offset? That
2
depend on-
degrees. Yeah, 2 degrees, maybe 1. 2 degrees used to be the old go-to number. So,
Okay. That's probably what.
but I think what's happening, the real plus, if you're using Jim Lee's and they're aluminum, right?
Yep.
What I like about that, this ain't putting a washer under the front motor mount. I mean, that's an honest to goodness 1 or 2 or 3 degrees. You're going to get it all. So 2 degrees might actually be more than you need. 1 degree might be noticeable enough. So
I'm a newbie, so I think more pull the better.
Well, you won't get that much pull out of it. What you'll get is just a kind of a stabilization where the airplane will want to go back to the end of the lines and stuff, but you're not going to notice a lot of line tension per se.
All right.
So
I
even
agree-
with 3.
I agree with the 1 degree.
Yeah, me too. One degree is good and 2's about the most.
Ted Fatcher used to say you want just enough out thrust to know you don't have any in thrust.
That's true. It's a good point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. We'll give that a try.
Actually, I used the nylon ones on some of our racing profile planes and actually pointed the engine in because
Yeah.
they pulled so hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
The 40s and the 36s,
Yep.
on our profiles. We had an event called Warbird, and we would run like Mark 7s and stuff on it, and going around, and so or like in Slow Rat. So we would actually take that offset out because during flight it was, killing your arm.
Well, not only that, they'd go faster. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah, true enough.
But Dennis, if you have Facebook, the WoW is flying on Facebook on the control line forum. I videoed it. It's on my video.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that, but do you think you're going to be able to post any of that on Stunthangar?
I'll try it. I think I'll have to see.
Yeah.
There's a way to get the video off. I'll have to ask Tom.
Okay.
If he knows how to do it. And then to get that kind of speed out of the Super Satan, I'm running 60% nitro.
Whoa.
Well, and I can understand, the 120 with the Super Satan in my mind must have been easier than the 100 with the blackhead Fox. All right.
Yeah. Well, I don't
you
know.
know-
That thing was cranking. They go better than, those old planes, they really go, they really
Well,
go.
I know the half fast, it's got a really thin airfoil, but it's got all that lead outs, stagger and everything like that. The lead outs are way back. And then the Blackhead Fox itself is, that was just basically I guess his
What do you
second
got
stab
there,
at trying
Howard?
to make a combat engine.
I think
So
Howard's talking about showing us what we're talking
That's
about.
that's
there you go.
Blackhead Fox. Yeah. Schaefer really knows how to get those things running good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves those engines.
Yeah. Well, they just got a steampunk look to them and everything like that. They always sounded nasty too.
His was actually a 40.
Okay, yeah, he had, I saw he had the Blackhead Fox on one and apparently the old style 40 on another one. So I don't know, I got an old gold rat race 40 on it. I just got it because I used to have a rat racer with that on it. I just like the engine, but
No,
I don't know.
they run surprisingly well. I mean, just the right plug, the right fuel, the right prop, and it's
What prop do you?
I mean, I don't know what he's using, like a 9, 8 or 7 or something like that. On the Satan, I'm using an 8.8.
Thank you, John.
See y'all.
See you, man. Good night. Oh,
Good
wait,
night.
hang on, John. John, hang on. John, there's a question from Mark Lumen. Sorry to interrupt you, Al. He says,
That's all
John,
right.
did you build the 6 bits?
Say what?
Did you build the 6 bits?
I've got it sitting right back there in the corner.
All
I
right.
haven't put it back together. I haven't put any negative incidents in the top wing. I've kind of let it sit while I use what little time I have to work on the S311.
Well, you got your answer, Mark. Hey, have a nice evening, John. Thanks again. I'll
Hey,
see you.
you
see
guys
next time.
take care.
take it easy, John.
See
Oh,
you all
hey,
next
John?
week.
You bet.
John, I gotta show you, John, my Acme Class A flap adjuster here.
Acme Class A, is Wile
Flap-
Coyote in there with you?
Huh?
Is
I asked
Wile
if-
Coyote in there with you?
Yeah, these things
Hold it higher.
go up on the
Flap adjusters.
flap adjuster.
Oh,
you
that works
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Slap that on it.
yeah. They work. Yeah.
Yeah, they work good. I've only
Yeah.
busted 2 flaps with these things.
So it's hinged with tape. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and that keeps them in position while you slip it over the trailing edge of the flap. Then
Oh,
you
very
tap it
nice.
down with your thumb and finger,
Nice
and
and simple and businesslike.
then go do the other one.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
and
a guy in our club has those.
yeah, you round the edges so they don't gouge into the corners, don't gouge into the sheet. And like I say, I've only busted 2 flaps using these things.
Cool.
Hey, thanks for showing us that.
Thanks
Pete.
for showing them.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, you can go now, John.
All right, he left. And I have another comment by Gerald Wimmer. He said Lynn's Kevlar setup looks good. I'm sure the larger line diameter Kevlar will cut less than fine steel or Spectra.
Yeah, I think so too. It's 250-pound test, this stuff. So
Very cool.
it should
Yeah,
be
very
good.
cool.
Just the eyeball test on that looks like the diameter looks like about the same as what you would use if it was cable, isn't it? It's like an 030
Yeah,
or so.
yeah, that's about right. Maybe a
Okay.
hair, maybe a bit more,
Okay.
but
It
it's
looks pretty
so
good.
light. I mean, it's as light as a feather. So I
It won't
bet
take-
you, well, I did a measuring test and it's less than half the weight of the steel.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Nice.
So I'm excited to try it. Kevlar lines and Spectra lines and Kevlar lead outs.
Hey, I was flying old time in Cleveland this weekend. I had
Yeah.
my laser cut kit built with an electric motor, covered with monocoat, flying on Spectra lines, just
right.
like 1950.
Yeah,
Boy, that's
exactly.
back, doesn't it?
Yeah. I got a little bit of flack off of that. So what can I
Brings
say?
back memories, eh, Dennis?
Yeah, that's it.
Back to the future.
Back to the future.
Indeed.
Yeah, Dennis, if you have Facebook, you could see our LiPo battery hurl.
Yeah, they were talking about the Fox 15 hurl earlier, and I said, hey, I heard the combat guys had a LiPo hurl. So
Yep.
I couldn't believe that. What,
LiPo hurl.
130 feet or something like that? Holy
A
mackerel.
lipo hurl.
Yeah, I actually won.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
136 and a half feet.
Wow.
And
Jeez.
it was was it a 16-ounce battery, a 4-cell?
Wow.
And then and just a comparison, Tom Luciano threw like 132 feet, but the day before he threw the Fox 111 feet. So
wow.
So that's like
I was just saying too, a properly prepared lipo would actually leave a mark where it landed, shall we say? A nice black scorch mark. Yeah.
it was it had a different shape of it by the time we were done with it.
I'm sure it did.
And I was surprised that everybody was standing up and they wanted to take a turn to toss it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Surprised you wouldn't have a fire throwing a lipo battery.
Oh, Jim, it was dead. It was an old battery. He knows what he's doing with those things. And, he discharged it, and
Yeah, you can absolutely kill them and short them out and solder the leads together and everything like that. There's nothing there except basically a
shell.
foil wrap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
wow.
So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I got to show you the poster too. The artist. I don't know. I didn't show this one. This is
Ooh, wow. Is that great?
That is.
It had our speed limit contest on the 11th, and the 18th was the vintage.
So who's the artist?
Roger Baker.
Wow, very talented.
He and for a living, he refinishes I think it's Steinway pianos.
Wow.
That's what he does.
Wow, amazing.
Cool poster he's been making.
That is really cool. Very cool. Thank you very much.
I got to get out of here. I just want to check with Lenny. You coming tomorrow?
If you call me in the morning, if you're going flying, I'll be there. How's that?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Okay. I'll see you there probably around 9 or a little after.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
See you.
All
right, Stuart, thanks for coming in, Stuart. Appreciate it.
What's that, Al?
You playing hooky tomorrow?
No, I'm not working tomorrow. I only work. I have tomorrow off. I only work 3 days a week and 5 hours each day. So
okay,
I'm off tomorrow.
Good.
Very cool. Now, what motor do you have in that Bear? Is that a what?
Rojet 61.
Oh, okay.
With a Randy pipe. It's working nice now. It's pretty good. As long as I do the proper sequence.
And what do you use for fuel?
Rich's Brew, all synthetic, 20% oil, 10% nitro.
Okay.
Yeah, and the oil is just all synthetic, no caster. It's
now, when you
running
turn the
nice.
prop over, does this sometimes squeak?
Not so much anymore. The engine's getting pretty broken in now. It doesn't squeak as much. It'll squeak a little, but not as much as it was when I first started with it.
Okay.
I'm pretty happy with the engine run, but I don't, and some of the people tell me about all these advantages with the pipe and that, electric's so much better. And I'm not convinced.
I have a comment
the
from
pipe
Gerald
or
Wimmer.
the electric or what?
I'm not convinced that I can't make an airplane with just a 424 brake do just as much for me.
Yeah.
I really
I know
am.
that
I'm
thing
not.
was running like a watch when you had it in Muncie, and that was before you had the pipe on it.
Yeah,
So,
it was running pretty good, and I've run it with the pipe now for about, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, and I've had some good runs with it and so forth.
mm,
But I'm not convinced that it's flying any better for me than it was without the pipe.
I think a lot of it for a lot of the stunt guys, I mean, the ones that I talk to and stuff,
Yeah,
it's the cleanup. You know, they don't like the, you know, the oil and stuff after
right.
you're done flying, you know, you unplug it and put it away.
Yeah, and you know, the funny thing for me is that I never, ever, ever want to criticize the electric thing. I know the electric thing is fantastic. I get it. I mean, I've even flown a number of them now. I've flown John Paris's electric profile.
Mm-hmm.
I've flown 2 good full-bodied airplanes in electric and flown full patterns with them. It just isn't for me.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't like the feel of it. I don't like the speed. It feels fast. I feel like I just don't like it. And it's not to be mean to anybody or anything like that. It just doesn't work for me. And I've decided this week, I am never going electric. I am not going to do it. I'm signing my card right now. I am not going electric. I'm going to stay with what I've got. And I'm taking that to my grave with me. And that's as far as I'm going to go with it. And I'm not at all being critical of electric or electric flyers in any way. It just isn't for me.
well, I've known that ever since you showed off that little starting caddy you had. I knew
that the little blue box. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew the game was over as soon as I saw that. My God, he's so prepared now.
Yes,
he
sir,
ain't
Dennis.
never,
Yes,
he
sir,
ain't
Mike.
never changing now. So.
I'm getting pulled to the dark side, man. I got to tell you.
Okay, I get it. And you know what? If it works for you, I think you should. But
I really enjoy flying that plane and all the practice.
I've flown 3 good electrics now. I've flown Pat McKenzie's. I've flown a Starlight, which is a complete clone of the one that Constantine flies here. I don't like them. I don't like the feel of it. I just don't like it, and I can't help it. Every time I fly it,
the advantage that I found just in the last few weeks was being able to go out and fly by myself during the week and burn in either 4 flights or 8, charge batteries, fly 8 times.
I get it.
And I don't have to have Sam with me. I don't have to have a helper. You
don't need anything. Yeah, I get that. I don't have that advantage, and I never will, and that's okay. I'm okay with it.
My IC, I have a Stooge. I don't need anybody. I go out there and fly my IC motor at the Stooge all the time.
Yeah, it's a little harder with an inverted engine, though. It gets a little tricky.
Yeah, I start my PAs upside down.
Yeah, so do I. I start all those.
I mean,
that way too,
right side up, I guess. The airplane's upside down, but the motor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I find they just start back. I know a lot of guys can start them inverted just the way they are.
I struggle with that. I can't seem to make them work a lot of times. What was that, Al? You were saying something.
I was going to say, did the electric planes you flew, did they have the active timer?
I don't know anything about that. I have no idea. I don't know.
That's
because I'm not far enough along to know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they put the battery in it and send me to the handle and say, "Here, fly this."
Without that timer, they have some wind up to them if it's a little breezy and they really take off.
Right.
The ones that I saw, but the ones with the active timer, it slows it down.
Well, I've heard about it now for months and months and even years about people saying, you really need to go to electric. You really need to go to electric.
You don't need to go to electric.
I'm not going to electric.
They're both good. I mean, it's just
you don't need to. Nobody needs to.
Yeah.
For me, it was the convenience of having a take apart plane that I could take somewhere.
You know, the thing that kind of got to me a little bit is people saying, well, if you're still flying IC, you're not competitive anymore. And that's not nice. That just isn't nice. It's not a nice thing to say.
Nice, but it's just wrong. Any questions?
Yeah, it's like
that is wrong.
I've heard this a number of times from a number of people. Well, if you're going to fly IC, you'll never be competitive. Well, okay. So
I mean, Dave Fitzgerald
if that's the case,
flying IC. I know he's going to go electric, but he's still flying IC. Let me welcome
That's
Al.
why they call it a
welcome
hobby,
Bob
folks.
Gore.
Yeah.
Bob, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hey, Bob.
And I got your gift today, Bob. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I hope that it works out okay, that you enjoy using them.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it immensely. And I have a
No, you're
comment
so
for
welcome.
you, Al. I have a comment, Al. It's from Gerald Wimmer. He says, love the combat poster, Al. We'll have to try the lipo hurl here in vintage combat event. Sounds fun. That's Gerald Wimmer from New Zealand.
Hey, Gerald, you need your son, the artist, to make up a poster like that.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah, he
the
has
beautiful
in-house-
cartoons his son was making? I bet he could do a great job with that kind of poster.
That's a good point. That's a great point. And then Gerald Wimmer, he's piling on. He says electric allows us to fly at some parks where engines aren't permitted and may be needed in the future to continue in public spaces. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Well,
But anyways, you're good. You're good, Lynn. I know you know that already.
Yeah, that's cool. It's all good.
On that topic that you were just talking about, Charles, where they said it'll keep the parks. Well, we were having trouble where we were flying, and they wanted to put change the curfew on us. And the one guy that did fly electric said, "Well, let's go there and say, well, can the electric guys fly earlier because we don't make any noise?" And I said, hell no, you can't do that because they'll want everybody to fly electric then.
Oh, yeah. Something
you know
can
what I mean?
backfire on you. Yeah.
That'll kill everything.
Yeah, I know.
I said, don't even breathe a word.
I agree
there
with
is
you
such a
completely on
thing.
that.
That there's such a thing.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta be careful. Like I'm flying at a park now where I don't have any problem. Sometimes thinking maybe you should. I mean, we're not even a club, but I've entertained maybe getting permission from the city. But I thought then I have to start paying money every quarter and all kinds of other problems. So I just am enjoying just being a stealth control line pilot at a
We had our most trouble when we flew combat there because, two planes, chasing everybody, flying up high, making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So we found another field to fly, the combat matches at. We did have the festival there because it's easier for people to come. The combat guys, when they want to go flying, they'll drive to anywhere, but get more
taking off, Keith?
older members. We have it at our regular normal field.
You bet. Bye.
Good night, Keith. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. We're going to be ending the show in 12 minutes anyway, at least the live stream portion anyway. So just to let people know there is an end in sight.
Speaking of combat planes, I flew my Voodoo today.
You did?
I
Oh,
did.
wow.
I took my Voodoo out, my brand new Voodoo, and it flew pretty darn good too.
What motor do you have on that?
LA 25.
All right, very cool.
Yeah, it flew pretty good, but I am going to go to Spectra Lines because I found the 18 thou cables really draggy. Like I used to fly a little bit of speed limit, and we always use 60-foot 18 thou cables. Well, did they ever feel draggy today? So I'm going to put
Very
some
cool.
Spectra
Well,
on it the next time.
You remember Terry Forbes?
No.
Terry Forbes used to fly his combat Voodoos like on 100 feet lines.
Wow.
And
he was a
would just
rebel.
have a blast. I just
He's a rebel.
if he's listening,
I'm the same.
Listening, he can he can comment, but yeah, he used to do that 100-foot lines.
My brother used to fly. He had a Voodoo. I think when he still had the Fox on it, he flew it a couple of times with an 11.4 prop.
Wow.
Screaming its guts out with the 11.4 prop. It was like flying a helicopter. It had exactly one speed, up, down, sideways. And it wasn't very fast. But it was just, maybe if he had stuck with it a little bit, he might have preempted this whole, flat pitch thing that everybody does now. So.
Yeah, Tom flew Rusty Nolan's Super Satan Sunday.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
great.
That put a
That's
smile
great.
on Rusty.
And he put on the wing Rockin' Rusty.
Oh, that is
Cool.
so
Rockin'
cool.
indeed.
That
That's
is
great.
so cool.
That's neat.
I have a comment, you guys, in the chat box. This is from Steve Minchella. He says, you have to use 018 60-foot combat, I think. That's what he said. And or then he goes on, or 52, I guess 52 018s.
Yeah, but not if I'm not flying in combat.
You're just flying it out on the.
I'm just flying it
out
for
by
fun.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not flying in combat. I'm just flying for fun.
I would think with an LA 25, 018 is really, really overkill.
Oh,
too.
it was really draggy. I mean, they were dragging pretty good.
That's what we used. That's what we used before Spectra came along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but yes, I mean, if you're going to fly steel lines, it's still 018s.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
You know, in a match, you know.
Yeah. Oh, in a match for sure. Yes, in a match for sure.
For speed
Definitely.
limit.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
speed
but he's
limit.
just sports. He's just
Tip
sports
weight is
flying
your
at.
friend on speed limits with 25s. Tip weight is your friend with 18s.
Yeah, for sure. I get that's for sure, Mike.
But
Mhm.
then, but when I was using 015s on the Satan, you know, just that's what we used, you know, back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, you're sport flying it. You're not flying it in a match.
Yeah, no, correct.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, Len, if you need some, let me know. I can ship you some. All right?
What are those?
That's what I took out of my Stuka stunt. tonight.
Oh, yes, yes, the weight. Yeah. I get
Yeah,
that.
that's it.
I don't think I'll be needing them because those 18s aren't going back on that airplane again.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Tom Morris was at Canton, Georgia on Saturday.
Was he?
Cool.
How's he doing?
Yeah. I am almost 100. I did not get a chance to talk to him because I was busy practice flying with Sam, but I am 100% sure that I saw Tom Morris there and I heard
That
people
is cool.
talking about him being there. He wasn't there Sunday, but he came by on Saturday just to pop in and chat with people. So
Good for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I have a
was
question
John
for
Simpson
Bob
there?
Gore.
He used to travel together. John Simpson might have been there to fly Classic on Saturday.
yeah, John was there.
Okay, so they probably rode up together. Okay.
Yeah, John was there. And you know what? John was not there on Sunday. So yes, they were together on Saturday.
Yeah, that makes a lot. That's how they used to travel anyway. So
Mhm.
okay, that's great. That's great.
So, Bob, did you do any flying this week or this weekend?
I did yesterday. I put in 6 flights yesterday.
Cool.
Oh, very cool. So which
Just
one did you
messing around
fly?
with
Your
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, or did you fly
Yeah,
your?
yeah. I was just flying the Pathfinder. I'm trying to teach myself to do the square eights. Yeah, I'm getting there slowly.
Yeah.
Damn slow.
Little by little.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The only contest I haven't heard of from the weekend was St. Louis. We haven't had anybody here went to St. Louis this week. This weekend was the craziest weekend for contests. They were all over
everywhere.
the place.
Yeah.
I know you said Belgium too last Friday, right? Wasn't the one in Belgium?
Yeah, that was on the Stunthangar events listing, one in Belgium. I mean, they were literally all over the country.
There was some posts on our site about St. Louis. They had some pictures and pictures of scoreboards and stuff like that. Just off the top of my head, I can. Jared Hayes was there. I can't really remember who else. I could look, but yeah, there was a bunch of contests everywhere.
Now, didn't Sparky get concourse this weekend?
I don't think we had one.
Did he go to Cleveland or did he go
Yeah,
to?
he went to
St. Louis?
Cleveland. So
Okay.
don't think we had a concourse event at all.
Or maybe Paul's Choice, or
No,
I
I don't
remember
think we
reading
had
something
any.
about Sparky. I thought he did something.
Yeah. He did post a nice video on Saturday. He didn't post anything on Sunday. I guess I don't really know why, but
didn't finish watching the Saturday video, but I saw part of it. But I thought I saw a thread where someone congratulated Sparky for something.
might have been still been talking
Yeah.
about his, what the Nats. So
Ini kan beli beli car seat.
Who's that?
That was
Caffeine.
caffeine.
Gone.
No, he's still here. I'll just mute him.
Was he there? Okay.
He's still here. He's just turned his camera off. I muted him.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
did Sam fly F2D on the weekend?
No, we went to Canton, Georgia and flew in a stunt contest.
Oh, okay. How did that go?
Good. I came in second.
Good job.
Sam came in fourth.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we flew F2D last weekend in Detroit,
Okay.
but I think we talked about that already.
Yeah. We had an F2D in Toronto on Saturday. First place was Pat McKenzie. Second was Walter Dordolo. And third was Max.
Pat McKenzie, my nemesis. He beat me in speed limit in Detroit.
He won F2D and stunt this weekend.
Yeah, we were in the final in speed limit in Detroit last weekend. I couldn't get him, man. I could not get a cut on him, man.
He's a good flyer. You're gonna have to work to catch him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. It was weird for Sam, man. He hadn't touched a stunt plane since the Nats. So I think, when did we go out? We went out Thursday, maybe, and he put a couple of flights on his Vector. So, and then he did like 4 more flights on Saturday. So,
all right.
I think he was yawning a little bit with the stunt. I don't know. I think he's losing interest. You know, it's still fun for him to go to a contest and stuff, but he really wants to be flying combat.
Yeah, I get it. He's young.
Yeah.
Stunts for us old guys.
It'll be there. It'll be there, you know.
Oh yeah.
Well, of course, in Cleveland, the Alamoff boys were looking good this weekend too. So
I saw that they were flying expert too.
They were flying expert. So
is that where they're at now? Or they're in expert?
They whooped my sorry butt. So
oh wow. What were the results in Cleveland? Do you remember?
Let's see. Bob McDonald won it, and then I think Luca, then Gabe, then me. And
okay,
we were all like 3 points apart or something like that. But
all right.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I hear you.
I had a good old day Saturday, and I was feeling my oats going into Sunday and stuff, and it was just, man, just no love. What can I say? So
just couldn't buy a point or two.
Yeah, that's it. It's like just a few more here, man. So I beat all those guys on Saturday, but I couldn't touch them on Sunday. So.
Yeah, the Sunday they got it together.
Yeah, whatever. Gee, Charles, I told you I'd be whining tonight. So.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all.
I'm trying not to.
You know, we can whine in the after party, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Which is just a minute away.
Oh, we're still live, huh? All
we're
right.
still live. We can whine.
Gotta behave myself. No, seriously.
Gnashing of teeth and
you were talking about well, Mark was talking about Joe's son. What's
Steven?
Steve, yeah, that's it. And of course your Sam is doing good. Well, Luca and Gabe are really good. I think there's a generation they're ready to carry on. If we can get a few more people and stuff like that, that's only good. That's only good. I just hope they can stay with it and you know, keep this thing going. But they're darn good flyers and darn good people too. So.
Well, all Sam could talk about on the way home yesterday was, we got 4 weeks till Huntersville combat, Dad. We got to get stuff. Ready. Huntersville's in 4 weeks. We need half A's. We need speed limits. We need fast. We got to get stuff ready. We got to get out and practice for Huntersville. I was like, okay, all right, we'll get some stuff
You tell
ready.
them not until you fix your lead outs. So.
Yeah, that's a couple hour job.
Yeah, probably. Well, you got to make new lines too. So.
Well, you know what? I'm going to end the show, the live stream, and I'm going to read the last comment from Gerald Wimmer. He says, "Thanks, Charles. Another great hangout session. We will ask Max to make our vintage combat poster. All right. and then might join you for the after party now that the boys are home. All right. So, hey, thank you very much, everybody, for coming in. I appreciate it. Truly would not be a show without all our people that came inside this meeting. We've had people leave, but we've continued on. It's been a really good show. At the height of our show, as far as live audience, we had like 30, and we have 24 likes, and no chat revenue, no new members. So please consider doing that. Oh, hang on. What do you got there, Mike?
Yeah, I just want to give a plug for the Huntersville contest because I got the word while we were at Canton. They have again gotten Tom Morris to make up a bunch of line wrapping jigs, and they'll be giving these away as trophies to anyone who places in a stunt event. Well, to the winners. First place in a stunt event, your trophy will be a Tom Morris line wrapping jig.
Nice.
So if you're around in the third week of October, come to the Huntersville contest, go win it, and get you a line wrapping jig.
Yeah,
All right.
I have one of those, but mine's not a trophy, and they're very, very nice. I actually love it.
Well, that one's not mine. That one's Sam's, actually. He won that for beginner one year.
Yeah. Anyways, hey, thank you very much, everybody, for coming in. We're going to end the live stream now, and we'll be back Friday